Slavoj Žižek's Hegel in a Wired Brain was published in 2020 and is an attempt to critically question technological endeavors like that of Elon Musk's Neuralink and the strive for singularity. While Žižek, as in many of his other works, talks about a lot of things, it seems that he is here much concerned with raising awareness of the pitfalls of, in his eyes, utopian projects like unifying humanity through interfaces in a cybernetic network. For him, it is just another attempt to delay the meaning of our present existence, our here and now, into some imaginary future where everything will make sense. It is in this thought where Žižek pulls in Hegel's dialectics of historical progress. In that sense, gurus of the digital era like Elon Musk are producing an utopian ideology in which humanity needs to work together to reach the necessary end goal, the merging of humans and machines, an ideal transhumanism, so to speak. In this utopia, all problems and conflicts are resolved. The violent nature of humanity immerses into an eternal cyber slumber. The sublime obverse of Musk's cynical insight, let's try to catch up with the machine so that we will not become apes in a zoo, is the Gnostic New Age reading of singularity as not only the new stage of post-humanity, but a key cosmic event, the accomplishment of the divine self-actualization. In singularity, not only we, humans, become divine, God himself becomes fully divine. Yet, for Žižek, it is obvious that this is just some optimistic reasoning for our collective neurosis, which arises from our capitalistic modus vivendi, from a Lacanian perspective, namely that of being never satisfied, wanting always more, because we do not desire something, but we want to desire something. Whatever we achieve is never that. We always want something else and more. And the ultimate aim of our desire is not to achieve some ultimate goals, but to reproduce its own endless self-reproduction in an ever-expanded form. An endless and painful spiral which shall be resolved through singularity. This is where Žižek sees the danger for humanity. He does not criticize technology or a future where we really merge with machines, but what he criticizes is us being blind towards the hypnotizing ideology among techno-optimism. Technology is not bad, but we are fooling ourselves in believing that we are aiming for some divine purpose through technology, because the technological progress is just an excessive spawn of our incapability to deal with our desires. Besides this, he also attempts to deconstruct the dream of singularity in showing that computers, however sophisticated they will become, will never be able to articulate what humanity really is at its core, namely seemingly irrational, or rather in a Žižekian sense, driven by the unconscious. This apparent irrationality is not just articulated through behavior, but also through language, an immanent proof of the inconsistent reality the subject, so a human being, is experiencing in its interaction with the world. For that, irony is an example Žižek explores. Something all too human, but for him impossible to be grasped or properly articulated by a machine. At the end, Žižek admits that singularity would indeed resolve many problems, like capitalism for example, but also obliterate our own subjectivity. When I am in singularity, my thoughts are no longer mine. They are directly the thoughts of singularity thinking itself. I directly participate in the other's drive. This is why the prospect of singularity opens up a way to step outside capitalism. For him, it boils all down to a decision between an immersion into a subjectless collectivism under one framework, given that we depart from the contradictory aspects of our human nature, or to keep the painful conflict within the human soul, but remain living in a scattered and violent reality. It is clear where Žižek stands with this in his final lines, being that what God doesn't and cannot get is the obscene sovereignty of the human spirit which reacts with laughter to the very space where he, God, is absent. Replace God with singularity, and maybe this is our position in singularity.